didn't think this video was gonna come.
Nope.
So, guys, I bet you're wondering what this video is. Well, it's finally time that we told you a little secret project we've been working on this entire time.
Secret.
Yeah. It's my pleasure to announce to you a secret NCU film that we have just shot, as a matter of fact. We shot this in complete secrecy. It's mainly because this guy wasn't on set to take photos. And I'm ready to tell you what it is. We made the Luigi Chronicles. Sorta.
Yeah.
Kinda. So, it kind of occurred to me that we were making movies about everyone before Smash 2, except probably the one that would have the most interesting background, Bobby Becker IV's Luigi. So,
yeah, Mario's dead.
So I decided to tell a tale with Bobby called Luigi A Brothers Shadow. Luigi A Brothers Shadow was a story that I developed a little late last year. And it follows the story of Luigi having to deal with kind of the aftermath of Mario's death, and it leads him down a very dark path. So, without going into spoilers with anything, I just am very excited to really tell this story, and I've had a few people submit me questions so we can talk about it. So, let's talk about it. So I'll ask you real quick though, Brower, because today was the last day of filming for Luigi Brothers Shadow, which, by the way, we wrapped up the entire production in complete secrecy. So,
4 times the charm.
yeah. So, Brower, what are your thoughts on the movie?
Honestly, this might be my favorite movie aside from Smash 1. Because as much as I love Waluigi 2, Smash 1 is still my Avengers cake. So, this might top Waluigi 2. It might be on par with Smash 1 in a way, because, fun fact, me and Lycan tried this in high school and college after Smash Brotherhood, and it was kind of the same purpose, where Mario's dead, Luigi's grieving, but we never actually did that. So this is kind of like that premise with the new cast here, and I love it, because updated equipment, updated cast and crew,
Updated VFX?
updated VFX. It helps a lot now that I'm not the only one in behind the scenes mode. I have a crew that makes it not suck, so it helps a lot, and I'm so excited for what you guys do, because I'm not on set half the time.
Actually,
So it was fun being there.
let me ask you something. So this was the first project that you had virtually nothing to do with.
Yep.
You had nothing to do with the creative process. So let me ask you, what do you think? What do you think of what we did?
As the Zaandarbrow channel himself, I like the surprise. It was a very nice, late, happy, early birthday gift. It was great watching actual, I guess you could say, athletes, parkourists do a fight scene, and it was a lot of fun. Even the in-between scenes that wasn't the fight, I'm usually not into all the dialogue scenes in slow building, but this honestly reminded me of us watching Supernatural, being invested in the little dialogue moments, and I'm like, oh wait, this is good, this is actual writing, let's go.
Let's go. This is a very slow burn kind of movie, and honestly, it's probably one of the darkest, if not the darkest, NCU film to date.
Darker than Vera Mortis stabbing Wario.
Oh yeah, we can say that now. Around there. I'm not gonna give too much away, but now it's time for me to ask you a few questions. So I got 3 from the Knife Stalker. How would you describe this movie in comparison to some of the other NCU films? So, I would describe this as very, melodramatic. I would describe this as very, serious, very sad. There's obviously some of that NCU, levity that you get there a little bit. But this is very much a dark tale in the NCU that follows, a man going through grief. So, it's not exactly your mom and dad's Luigi movie, I guess, but
you wouldn't show this to a kid who wants to see some Mario content?
not particularly. I would enjoy this if I was a kid, but I was also a very weird kid.
You can tell when he's directing something when it's a serious movie, and you can tell when I'm directing something when it's a comedy movie.
Describe your experience with working with Bobby and Emilio. So, obviously, I didn't mention this, but this is also Emilio returns in this film for his final performance.
Bowser.
Yeah, and this is going to be the last time he's on the channel. So, what was it like working with the both of them together? Honestly, never had more fun before in my life. Those two are professionals by every sense of the word. Those two really knew what I wanted. Like, Bobby came up with the choreography himself. Emilio just fine-tuned it with like his own style. And those two threw each other all over the fucking place. By far, like, if nothing...
The whole park was on their backs.
Yeah, like, if nothing else, this is the best fight in the MCU, period. Like, I do think that this is, like, my favorite fight, period. Yeah. Emilio was lovely to work with, and honestly, he has really shown himself to be, like, a phenomenal actor after this. Like, I understand why his TV shows have hired him at this point. So, kudos to you, Emilio. You did a phenomenal job, and if this is really your swan song out as Bowser, honestly, I wouldn't have had it any other way. Mm-hmm. Would you say that this is Smash 1.5, or is it own things and has elements from it? I'm not even gonna call it 1.5. I would call this episode 7. This is a direct, like, you know, Snake 2, Link 2, Waluigi 2 implied. They implied like a sequel. They were sequels to those movies. This is flat out a continuation of Smash's original storyline, at least what we set up with like Luigi. Yep. So I'm looking at this more as like Smash Episode 7. So I guess a 1.5. I would call this Smash 1.5. It also really shows that it is interconnected with the rest of the MCU. This is not really more its own thing. Like, while this is a very personal story to Luigi, it very much lives within the MCU, and you're gonna see why.
It's like the Ragnarok before the Endgame.
More like the Civil War, I guess, in that sense. But, alright, let's keep going. So these questions are from Bobby Becker IV. Luigi himself.
Not Chris!
Hey everyone, this is Bobby signing in. You also know me either on YouTube as Bobby Sama. And I play as Luigi, while at the same time I helped with the script for the Luigi A Brothers Shadow.
How do you feel reflecting on your development as Luigi and how it pays off here, without spoilers?
So I really feel like where this isn't the end of this character, you get to watch him grow as a person, while at the same time seeing what he goes through. You have from the beginning of Smash, well, even like the earlier stuff with Phase 1, where Luigi is very much, you know, just this goofball, lovable character that, you know, stays more so towards the sidelines, but with everything that he goes through with his own journey, like with everyone else, he grows from it. He finds himself more in a leader role, trying to do what he can, and it's crazy to see how much that he's grown over time.
How did it feel working with Emilio?
Dude, so obviously I've done a little bit of work with Emilio when it came to the Smash remake that we did recently, and even then, like, I loved working with him, but then again, it's, you know, you're only really doing so much since it's, you know, a working together against, not a full-on versus against each other. And it's just where I have a pretty good knowledge over when it comes to fight choreography. Emilio's a lot more when it comes to the martial arts heavy, so he's able to give a lot of great input, and it's just throwing ideas at each other back and forth. I really feel like it just helped boost this single film up just over and over.
Who would win in a fight between you and Chris?
So,
before you answer that question, by the way, let me preference, because of course Reese asked this. Chris punched Master Hand once, Crazy Hand once, and he went right back to Master Hand. Just put that into it.
Yeah. So which is why I stir on it a bit, because it's just like, I feel like at the same time it all really just depends on the timeline, because when it comes to, I would say, partially of this film, and then when it came to the remake, as we clearly saw, my Luigi nowhere near as strong as Chris's Luigi. The fact that he was able to defeat Master Hand by himself, where I can't do that. However, with the specific experiences that my Luigi goes through, I feel like at this point, this is literally strength versus a technician. So it's just like you have one that's just strong, but then you have one at this point that is a strategist and has just multiple things under his belt as his Revenar that could potentially beat him. So it's like, I think at this point, I think my Luigi would win.
Okay. Death battle coming soon, I guess. That's the final boss right there. But
I'm beating the original.
Damn right. But all right. How's it like working for Shady O'Malley, who is the director of Luigi A Brothers Shadow?
Oh, Senpai Shady-kun. Well, as always, I love working with you. It's, for one, you're very easy to work with. It's at the same time that you help improve my work so much when it comes to the slight lessons that you teach me and just the stuff that I pick up while you're, in the move. And especially like when it comes to like a lot of like the films and even like the little like stuff we've been doing together lately. I'll like put together, like a lot of the stuff like I'll like do like the starter base, like for instance when it came to the fight choreography and the stuff for this one, I was the one that took the mantle on it, but then you came back with me, we went over like little pieces to switch stuff around, which in reality helped for the better. So I love working with you.
Oh, thank you. What do you think, what's your impression of Luigi A Brothers Shadow? Like, what do you think people are going to walk away from this movie with? Like, do you think, what do you think their impression of this film is going to be after they're done watching it?
So, when it comes to the film in general, or just for the character?
For the film.
So, I feel like this single film is going to leave quite the impact. Not just on an emotional level when it comes to these characters, but then just how much this single film connects to everything. It's, in a way, it's like that middle piece that holds everything together, that fixes up those loose ends where it's just like things you might have questioned or thought about. While at the same time, it's like how when it came to the most recent films for Phase 2, it really just takes that moment to really go into the, not psychosis, but essentially digging deeper into how these characters are reacting to the situations put in front of them.
What does it mean? What did a Luigi A Brothers Shadow mean to you to have it being made, considering that we just kind of made it, like, just so you had your own solo film? Like, what does this film mean to you?
So it's funny that the idea of this film came up as, at first, just being a death battle. When you guys were reacting to the Mario vs. Snake. It was like one of the ones that you guys threw out because Reese brought up the whole thing about me versus Eric, where you were just like, I think doing one between Bobby and Emilio would hit harder. And having that go from here to, what we have now is just, but how I look at it, it's kind of the same way that I looked at when it came to the fight between Luigi and Waluigi against Eric, right? With each thing we put out, it's a life lesson in a way. It's Luigi coming more into himself. It feels so much of, when it comes to, especially with just the title with Luigi A Brothers Shadow, too much Luigi is trying his best to be Mario. He's so fixed on, with Mario gone, he's trying to take top priority to essentially be that person that everyone can be able to look to, to make everything great. to make everything okay. So he's trying to take on so much at once, and it's so much of him trying to be his brother, but the challenges and the things that he goes through, it allows him to realize his best option is just to be himself, to get out of his brother's shadow.
He said it! He said it!
What does the character Luigi mean to you? Like his whole arc, his whole development?
Learning to become a man in a way. Learning to find your own footing, to leave your comfort zone, and to push yourself through to be the best version that you can be. Very much so of, we can find ourselves in situations where we're scared because we're in a spot that we feel is comfortable, and just trying to move out of that shell, it's scary because you don't know what can happen, what's out there. But it's in those moments that where, yes, it can be scary and sometimes it can be, hurtful, you find meaning. You find meaning in yourself. You find meaning in the people that are around you. And it allows you to grow. Where even when things get tough and things can feel like they're at their worst, as long as you persevere, there's always light at the end of the tunnel.
I guess last two questions is, if you had, full ownership of like Luigi's destiny, where would you want him to go from here?
So, obviously without any spoilers, with Luigi going to a role of being more himself, being able to take that and truly persevere what he wants to do, and that's to help people. So I feel like at this point it's finding himself moving more into an actual leader role. It's no more of a just trying to force himself to do it just to do it, but it's more so of he's doing it because he needs to. Because with everything that goes on, sometimes you need someone there to be able to tell everyone, hey, it's going to be okay, we got this.
Last question is, well, actually just kind of a combination of a few production questions.
Mm-hmm.
What was it like filming this movie?
So, when it came to filming this, it really felt like moving out of, even like, for me, moving out of my own shell in a way, to where it's just like, when it came to most of the stuff that we've done for anything, film-wise with Luigi, it's been, high volume, cheeky, lovable goofball character, where with the most recent stuff, we're seeing other emotions, we're seeing trauma, we're seeing anger, we're seeing so much of these like hidden emotions that are held so deep down, to where with these like single moments where we're getting Luigi just by himself, a lot of that stuff starts to reveal itself, and it just showing that there was so much more under that smile. That impact is just, I feel like it's really gonna mesmerize with people.
What was your reaction when you found out that you were going to be doing a Luigi short film?
I ain't gonna lie, I was like a giggly mess, because it's just, even though we've done all these projects and it's just like, we have been doing more and more stuff with Luigi, I don't know why, but like never once my mind was thinking to myself of me having my own film. It's not that I feel like, I couldn't have it, but it's just, it was never like, oh, I wonder if I'm ever gonna get my own film, you know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, I just enjoy what we do. Like I I'm not looking for like the craziest stuff. I could be just a simple like little side character. I'm all for, I'm all for it. So it's just like it's one of those things where it's so cool to have, and it's like honestly I never even expected for us to be to this point.
Last question. You got casted as Luigi, I want to say like early 2023. Could you have predicted, or like, how do you feel about his arc compared to the first time you played Luigi to what happens in this movie?
So, for one, never in my life did I think that me playing as Luigi was going to get to here, because I'm trying to remember correctly, but the very first time that I ever played anything for Luigi was Snake 2.
Right.
For the end credit scene. I'm trying to remember exactly how Brower even brought it up to me. I just know he asked me to do it, and I was like, yeah, sure, I'll do it. I guess at that point, either like really couldn't get anything with Chris, so then I guess at that point, that's when he asked me about it. And it was just like, oh, this is so cool. Like, yeah, I'll do it. And then there was Save the World, which I was able to show at least a little bit of what I could be able to do instead of it just being like the single, the cameo. To where the stuff that we do now, it's something else. It's so much fun. It's so much that I enjoy, and at the same time, it pushes me to want to do better every time with each thing that I film, and then especially it's so much more worse when it comes to filming and I'm a character portraying, because when it comes to the stuff that we work on, like for instance the Wario versus Waluigi, when I create fight choreography, I usually start with the basis of like, okay, hey, this will be fun, this will be fun, this will be fun, and then it's from there it's like, okay, now even though I have this basis, let me think about, okay, who's my cast, who can do what, and then I will accommodate for those areas. Meanwhile, when it comes to myself, I am so much more harder on myself when it comes to these things, to where I'm so much of, okay, no, we have to push ourselves to do this, and we have to go above and beyond on this, because I want this to be not just a spectacle for everyone else, but something that I can be able to look at and be like, yeah, we did a good job on that. So, which is why you'll see me doing my own stunts, throwing my body around. That stuff hurts sometimes, but it's like, it's little things that I'll practice on the sideline that I don't promote about, but it's all the more reason why I want to push myself harder and harder so I can be able to give the best performance that I can. I'm not gonna sit out here and be all like, oh, like I'm like the best acrobatic person of the whole cast. I'm not, because I'm just a novice myself. Hell, when it comes to the fight choreography that we've done with Emilio, where I've put together some really good stuff, and I have had a track record for the stuff that we've done, I still wouldn't even put myself as a candle of a light to that man when it comes to, especially to his knowledge when it comes to martial arts. But it's like, it's always just more so of always just wanting to be the best version of myself that I can be, which in a way it helps resonate and make my character as Luigi all more as understanding, while at the same time more as relatable, because in a way I'm putting myself into this character. Well, as I said, my name is Bobby. If you ever want to check me up on YouTube, I am Bobby Sama. I do a lot of fun skits, I do video game stuff, etc. But this right here has become a passion project for me. It's one of these things that I always try to find any time of the day to make time for, because at first I always thought the acting stuff would be fun, something cool that I would do, but would never do it. To where it's to a point now that I see it as a passion. I see it as it could be a potential career, and it's starting to open a lot more doors on my end too. That makes me just more excited for everything that we have coming up forward. That I hope that as much as hard work and everything we put into it, I hope that everyone else enjoys as well.
How was the overall experience when it came to filming? Okay, so when it came to the filming itself, I'll get to that in a second. Let me talk to you about the planning of this movie. Fuck me. Fuck me. Dude, the amount of fucking times I have scheduled a shoot, and the day of, I found out that they were canceling on me. Fuck! Dude, it shouldn't have been that hard.
Being adults is fun.
Dude. Regardless, though, we pushed through, we persevered, and we got this film done. Now, the actual filming of it, honestly, I can't say I had a bad day with this film. Every single day we've shot, it felt like we were just being more creative, we were adding,
Felt like we were kids again.
I genuinely can say this when it came to every single day I shot and directed this movie. I've probably never been around a group of professionals before than both Bobby and Emilio. Like, those two were so creative and they added so fucking much.
Imagine them two running a channel.
They wouldn't last. But like a movie though, holy shit. Like honestly, I would say this. I hope, like, if this is Emilio's last movie, fine, whatever the fuck, cool. I want him to star in another movie with Bobby. Those two had phenomenal chemistry.
What if they were a buddy cop movie?
I think that would be fun. I think moving forward, it would be very interesting to see like where Emilio's career progresses and like how he tackles things. But I hope to God he works with Bobby again, because my God, those two were too magnetic. And Bobby, and Emilio, another thing too. I can't express this enough. Thank you so much for coming back. Like this experience with you, and like being able to like continue your Bowser storyline and conclude it in the way that I did. It was special, and I cannot thank you enough for that. So to answer that, this is probably the best experience I've ever had filming in my entire life. Like, you guys crushed it.
You smashed it.
What was your favorite part of filming? So, obviously there's the big one, the fight, but I'll talk about a small one. There were smaller moments where I was just shooting with like Bobby and Emilio, where there were like minor scenes that we had to shoot, and I think those scenes, without, I'm being very vague, but those scenes, when we just started adding and adding and adding.
When you were at his house.
It just added a lot. Like, it felt like we were making a movie. You know what I mean? Like, there's movies out there where you can tell that this is just a fan film. This movie felt like a film. And that's the biggest compliment I could have given it. Like, this felt like a movie that I would show in the theater if I could. Like, I'm very, very proud of it. What was the most stressful part of filming? Oh, I fucking wonder why.
Scheduling.
No, not scheduling. Scheduling wasn't hard. Last minute cancellations was the hard part. Holy fucking shit, dude. The amount of times.
Hey, we're on our way.
I was here for 2 days. I slept over on the 19th and the 20th for the 20th and 21st. Dude,
yeah, we finished the Zaandarbrow movie yesterday because we had nothing else to do.
I found fucking out that I had to like be here for nothing 2 hours after we were supposed to start shooting. So, you know, that was definitely the most stressful part. But, you know, life happens. I'm not exactly mad about it. It is what it is. And the last question I got here is, how does this film impact the rest of the NC? It doesn't. It's plain and simple. It doesn't. This isn't meant to impact the rest of the NCU. This is meant to impact Luigi. And that's...
See, Luigi's emotional trauma impacts Fair Mornis's rage. Right?
This is why I directed it. So, like, obviously, not obviously, I don't know what I said obviously. Point being, though, is, like, this is a Luigi story first and foremost. Like, I can understand where it fits in with the larger NCU. It fits in it. It exists in it. This is a Luigi story first and foremost. It doesn't impact it whatsoever.
You can skip this episode, but don't.
This is... It depends, like there are like filler movies, an element. There are filler movies in the NCU that you can skip.
Ant-Man.
Like Waluigi and like Snake 2. And this is kind of in that same bracket in a sense.
Waluigi 1.
Waluigi 1, yes. But, and this is kind of in that same bracket of, like, it's not going to just impact everything. But why would I urge you to watch it is because of what it does to Luigi as a character. What Waluigi 2 did for Waluigi, I feel like Luigi does for Luigi. So, I hope you like it.
Yep.
How about you? You got any questions for me before we wrap this?
Is that the last question?
Yeah, that was the last question, yes.
Yeah. What was it like making a Zaandarbrow movie without a Zaandarbrow prison?
It felt almost like this wasn't supposed to go on your channel, if I'm being honest. Like, there are some trademarks that you clearly have that you put in every movie.
Bumping into people,
A joke, or just like...
Mom cameo.
Mom cameos. That, like, we just... Some of them we just flat... Like, those trademarks are just
I would
not
go to
here.
Jersey right now and film a mom cameo for this movie.
Like, this is one of those cases where this is clearly meant to be more of a Shady O'Malley movie than a Will Brower film.
Yep.
And I don't know what that's going to mean to the MCU, but we're going to experiment and try. So...
His films are better.
Oh, stop it. Stop. But, I'm excited to see, like, what you guys think, because... Again, I can't express this enough. I'm so fucking proud of this movie. I really, really am.
Brought back retirement for this movie.
Brought back retirement. Yeah, literally, it brought back Amelia right from fucking retirement. And yeah, and honestly, all the fucking more power to this film.
Well,
You got any more?
expect Luigi A Brothers Shadow to air.
You can stop right there. So, we're done shooting. Now we're just in post. So you can expect it to come out within the next few months. We're not going to rush any VFX artists whatsoever, but expect this film sooner rather than later.
Before Smash 2.
Definitely before Smash 2. Smash 2's day is due out sometime in November, so definitely before November. I can promise you that. So that's it regarding us. Thank you guys so much for watching, and hope you like Luigi A Brothers Shadow.
Oh my god.